Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're all having a decent post-holiday week. I'm not. Okay, let's just start there. I'm coming in hot and nasty today. I'm coming in full HRH Collection. If you don't know who that is, HRH Collection, her real name's Alexandra Pierce. She is a content creator that truly is just constantly in a place of rage, like blind rage. And she just pops off. She says the most awful, horrific things in this shrill, screaming tone. And I feel like I'm in a full place of HRH Collection. And with that said, your thought might be immediately like, oh, like, are you about to get your period? And you guys know that I always keep you updated on like where I'm at in my menstrual cycle. And guess what? I'm not about to get my period, and I'm just in a fucking bad mood. I'm just in a bad mood. And with that, you know what? I'm going to kick things off with this week's Grow Up, because it's been a couple weeks since I did it, but now I'm feeling it organically came up, and I told you it would. Grow up. When you're in a bad mood and someone goes, are you about to get your period? Are you PMS? No. Grow up. I'm just in a bad fucking mood. And can that just be okay? Can that just have nothing to do with hormones? Can that just be my actual God's honest state? Like, do we need an excuse for everything? Does it have to be hormones? Does it have to be, I'm just dehydrated. I didn't get sleep. I'm overwhelmed at work. Can it just be that I'm in the mood to be a fucking rancid bitch? Can it just be that I'm in a horrible mood? Can that be okay? Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, you saw Nora just fully get off the couch from her cozy nap that she was taking and be like, I can't do this right now, just now during that crash out. And Nora, like, was behind me on the couch in her favorite blanket. Like, I've truly never seen a creature look cozier than Nora just did on this blanket. And I just ruined it. I just fully ruined it. And for that, Nora, and for that, listeners, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a mood. For reasons that, you know what, I'm not going to get into behind the mic. And normally I like to be transparent, but given that it's not just my business and it involves other people, I will try and be classy. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, you might be like, Hannah, what in the Priscilla Presley fuck is going on with your hair today? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I have this giant banana clip clipping it up. I used to have a gym teacher. Shout out to Miss Gingold. I will name her. Miss Gingold used to have this giant ass banana clip, and she would just clip up the top of her hair. She was such an icon. She was serving cunt all the time, Miss Gingold. And she would wear like a coordinated like windbreaker sweatsuit as an elementary school gym teacher. And I was just like, she was serving looks. She was serving cunt at Sherwood Elementary. So shout out to Miss Gingold. Okay, so today's episode, I have some really exciting guests coming up in the next few weeks, but today's episode is going to be chaotic, hot, and nasty, all right? First of all, let's get into the holiday weekend. So this weekend was fun because Jake was finally home. And I did not say this on social media because I didn't want to dox myself and say, hey, predators, hey, serial killers, come get me. But Jake was out of town for a month, which was part of why my relationship with Ben Affleck got so deep and so intimate the way it did, because I was starved for male attention for a month. But he's back. He got back on Saturday, and I was like white knuckling it like the last month. Like, I'm a very independent person. So the first 2 weeks I was like, okay, yes, we're vibing, like alone time. Let's go. I'm not being perceived. This is great. I knew this would happen. After 2 weeks, I started going, okay, I miss my buddy. Where's my buddy? Where's my wooba? I miss my wooba. That's what I call Jake. Where is my wooba? And so I was like excited for him to come home. I spent Friday and Saturday like deep cleaning the house, like baseboards, nooks and crannies. My vacuum cleaner did decide to stop working, which sucks because Monty is a German Shepherd Husky mix with white fur. So in the dead of summer, not being able to do a deep vacuum did suck, but I swept to the best of my ability. I made a gorgeous flower arrangement. I'm in my flower arranging era, I guess. More on that later. And I was so excited for Jake to come home. I wanted the house to be perfect. Also because while he was out of town, he was working on a project, and the apartment he was staying in was like perfectly nice, but it wasn't as like cozy as our house, because respectfully, like our house is like cozier than most places on earth. So I wanted the house to be like peak cozy coz for him when he got back. And I was like excited for him to come back. And then I like literally the day, like a few hours before he landed, I was driving around running errands like in preparation for his return. And I was listening to the Haley Steinfeld song Capital Letters from the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. And I just fully started crying. It was like a release. I was like, oh God. And I just was like, damn, okay, I miss Jake more than I even realized. I was in fight or flight. But he was home. We had a great weekend. Sunday, we had like a Sunday fun day. I literally had my dream LA day from last week's episode. I did that on Sunday. We got lunch at Spina. We bopped around some stores. We got day drunk. Then we met up with friend of the pod, Claire Donald, at El Chucho. We got hammered. I got a quesadilla. I lost my purse, which fucking sucks because I am not a drunk person who loses things. I'm really not. I have not lost something drunk since like 2016, which was, we all know, the darkest era of my life and coincided directly with when my mom died. So I'll give myself a pass. This last weekend, I had no fucking excuse except for the fact that I was just so excited. I was excited that it was a 3-day weekend. I was excited that Jake was home. I was excited that Claire was down to clown. I hadn't gone to El Chucho in a while. So the chooch called my name and I answered that call. And in turn, I lost my purse. Now, here's where there is a higher power at work. I misplaced my $20 Amazon purse. Now, what sucks about that is it did have my AirPods in it and my car key, which sucks because car fobs are fucking expensive to replace. Okay, so this is like a multi-$100 mistake. But the purse was cheap. The lip combo was cheap. And I had my wallet with me. By the grace of God, I must have like put my wallet in my pocket or something when I got my quesadilla. But the purse is gone. One thing led to another, and I lost the purse. Okay, so that fucking sucks. So yesterday I was violently hungover. I'm talking pukerella. Like I got home Sunday night. I pukerellaed in the toilet when I got home. Then yesterday, I was just like sicky, tired, headache, pukerellaed at like noon, peeled myself from the depths of despair from my watery grave to take an everything shower, huge. Like I did a hair mask and everything, which with a hangover felt like a Herculean task. But I was just like, I feel so disgusting. I need to smell good. I need to like baptize myself and wash away my sins. And then I managed to put away so much laundry. Mind you, all of this was underscored by season 2 of Vanderpump Rules. Like I needed Vanderpump Rules to make me feel better about myself and be like, hey, Hannah, like it's not so bad. I know you lost your purse. I know you pukerellaed. I know you feel like a floptina. But it could always be worse. You could be the cast of Vanderpump Rules circa season 2 specifically. You could be Kristen Doty in Vanderpump Rules season 2. And that is a worse fate than death. She was 30 years old in season 2 of Vanderpump Rules. And listen, I'm not about age shaming, okay? I believe that age is just a number. And I plan on being hot and fun until I'm literally passing away. I'm going to pass away to Charlie XCX's Boiler Room set, okay? I'll be on my deathbed being like, bumping that. However, 30 years old to be like drunk at work, marching around being like, Ariana, I know you fuck my boyfriend. That is crazy fucking work. And I love her for it. I've been compared to Kristen Doty more times than one in my lifetime, which I am not proud of, but that's showbiz. Okay. Jake and I are going to London in a month and a half for our anniversary. And I'm so excited. I've never been. And we're staying at an Airbnb in Notting Hill. And I'm just so excited to like beat bop around London. And our idea of a good time is like just enough plans to know where we're eating and like what we're doing. Like, when are we getting drunk? When are we eating? When are we shopping? Everything else is just like whatever. We are going to see a show because we have to see some theater in the West End. And I met this random musician at Club TG over the weekend who was a drummer. And he's like, my band is going to be performing in London while you're there. And I was like, let's see your show. And I'm like, are we going to be like in London being like, we're with the band? Like, I don't know. That feels kind of cool to me. Yeah, we're just going to like eat and drink and see Buckingham Palace. Oh, but I was talking to Jake about this last night. We were walking Monty and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for London. And he's like, yeah, you don't really like care to go to museums, right? And I was like, no, not really. Like I would rather go to like Harrods and like go shopping or whatever. Which I know is just like a major department store, but like I hear it's a beautiful department store and that matters to me, you know? But then I was thinking about like how the actual worst job for me personally, Hannah Aaron Brown, the worst job I could ever have would be to be a guard at Buckingham Palace because you just have to stand there silent. Were you silent or were you silenced? You have to be silent all day, every day, expressionless. And for me, Hannah Aaron Brown, to shut the fuck up and have no expression all day, every day, knowing full well that there will be annoying tourists like getting all up in your business, being like, look, I'm posing with a guard. You sound like me. I'm from London. I like truly, and just having to stand there and like take it and not pop off and not be like, shut the fuck up, get the fuck away from me. And also not like smile and like, yes, and them. That would be true hell for me. Any job where I cannot have a face expression and cannot speak would be true hell. And then that got me thinking about how in college, I took this lit class my either junior or senior year. And the teacher was like young and like respectfully like not even hot, but like I think just because he was like a young man who was like into lit and like wellness, I thought he was like really cool. And like he made us read A New Earth. Who wrote that book? By Eckhart Tolle. That's who wrote it. Eckhart Tolle. So I read A New Earth and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is, but this is like another plane of reality. And my hip young lit teacher knows something that I don't. And so he was talking to us about how he's like super into meditation and Eckhart Tolle. And he's like, yeah, I just got back from like a silent retreat. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. I remember thinking like, I want to push myself to, this is so like having like a college age crisis where you're like just trying to figure out who you are in the world. And you're like, maybe I could be woo-woo silent retreat meditation girl. Like you're just trying on different personalities for size. And I remember telling my mom, like, so yeah, like my professor told me about this like silent retreats, like in Michigan. Like I'm thinking about doing it. My mom was like, what? My mom famously was like, you're fucking crazy. Like you're going to do a silent retreat. And I remember being like, whoa, mom, don't judge. Whoa, hey, mellow out. Maybe I want to do a silent retreat. Maybe I want to meditate in Michigan for a few days. My mom was like, I support you if that's what you want to do, but also, are you going to spend your time, money, and resources to shut the fuck up for like 3 days? Like, I don't think you'd like it. I don't think you'd like it. And what's cool about being in your 30s is you become a lot more comfortable with being like, I don't like that, or I do like this. You know what I mean? And so that said, I never did do my silent meditation retreat. But imagine being a guard at Buckingham Palace. You're doing a silent meditation all day, every day. And I wonder what they get paid. If anyone has any intel on that, let me know. Back to my flower arranging era. So yeah, I think it's so rock and roll to have hobbies as an adult, but usually I'll get like a little manic when I'm like, honestly, it's like college with the meditation retreat. It's like, I'm going to get into cake decorating. And then I try something new. And the second it's not like easy for me, I'm like, fuck that, never doing it again. So like, I'm really excited about this flower arranging thing that I decided to get into because it was motivated by Jake coming home, because I was like, I want to have a beautiful floral arrangement on our dining room table when he walks in, something that's fragrant and beautiful. And so thanks to TikTok University, I look up like easy at home flower arranging tips or whatever. And I just essentially like copied a girl from TikTok, and I'll link her in the show notes. I forgot her name, but she's a great follow. She's a very like aspirational hot girl, like lifestyle girly, has lots of tips, lots of tricks. So I copied her flower arrangement. It turned out so good. And I was like, wait a fucking minute. Am I Miss Honey from Matilda? Like, am I Martha Stewart? Am I a homemaker? So then I was like, this is actually a really good hobby for me because I do love having fresh flowers around the house. I love, like, I go to Trader Joe's anyway. You can get good flowers from there on the cheap. And then putting them together is so life-giving and fun. And I like any sort of hobby that requires me to use my hands because then I have to put my phone down, something that I am famously bad at. And given how bad I am at it, you would think that I would have more of a TikTok presence and be better about like focusing and making content. But no. No. So between flower arranging and cooking, I feel like those are my hobbies. And I just saw a TikTok today where this girl was like, I love being a girl because what is it about September 1st that made us all decide to lock in on the same day? And I was like, that is so fucking true. I was kind of talking about this last week, but the beginning of autumn to me signifies like a reset. I had a hot girl summer. I had a brat summer. I did all the things, treated my body like a garbage can, had my college reunion, went to the chucho, had all the good times. Now I'm ready to reinvent. And I don't know if it's just because like, okay, so here's the thing. I do feel normally I fucking hate summer. And then I feel like fall is when I come alive, which I've definitely mentioned many times before. This year going into fall, I feel a sense of dread. And I'm not happy to say that because I don't want to scare any of you. I don't know why I feel the sense of dread. I think mainly it's because I really like fell off of my habits in the summer, which again, I've previously discussed. So the thought of like locking back in feels a bit overwhelming right now. However, I feel called to lock in. You know what I mean? Like I feel like an inner knowing being like, Hannah, what you really want right now, like what you want is to drink some water, go to bed early, read your books, close the loop on some projects you've been putting off and procrastinating on. Like it does get to a point where the procrastination outweighs the dread of just actually doing the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes like procrastinating like feels like an easier choice in the moment, but then it gets to a point where it's like you're actually it's easier to just do the fucking thing because worrying has become so paralyzing at this point. That's where I'm at as far as like locking in goes. So like I'm excited to just chill out, get into my routines, make some cozy ass autumnal Ina Garden meals, arrange some fucking flowers, watch some Practical Magic. I am considering this just in news report. I'm considering getting into Pilates. Specifically Lagree or Solidcore. Now, do I fully know the difference? Not really. In the immortal words of Luanda Lesseps, not really. But I'm looking into it, mainly because I've been doing Orangetheory for almost 4 years. Now, you know that I'm an Orangetheory girlina. It has allowed me to embrace challenges and overcome obstacles I never thought I would be able to do. I have created such an amazing community. I love Orangetheory. I am getting, dare I say, a little bored, a little unstimulated, and I feel called to do some more low impact workouts and just challenge my body in a new way. Like I feel like I just gotta, if I don't use it, I lose it. And by that I mean I want to keep my brain and my body sharp. Okay. So I'm very intrigued by Solidcore or Lagree. Now I am not made of money. As much as I am manifesting a lifestyle so wealthy that I can afford microneedling, M-Sculpt, Botox, Solidcore, private dance lessons, vacations, cute clothes, and Goop Kitchen at least twice a week. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I have to be intentional about what I'm doing. And I'm feeling actually like, while I feel called to make the change and try Lagree, I'm also really scared to change from Orangetheory because it's just become such a part of my like life and identity in a weird way. And I know you might be listening thinking like, Hannah, there's people that are dying. I understand. Like it's my personal fitness journey is not important, but I bring it up because I want to hear from you in my YouTube comments or my email, notaspirationalpod@gmail.com, or my Spotify comments. If you are a Lagree or Solidcore girly or person, tell me your thoughts. I want to know. And did you pivot from Orangetheory to Lagree or Solidcore? And if so, what was your journey? Because in my dream scenario, I think I want to do Orangetheory for 2 days and then 2 or 3 days of Lagree. That's 5 workouts a week. That's serious. But I'm excited to just sort of explore and see like what this new chapter of me looks like. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, I found a new YouTube fitness girly who I love. I've been having a hard time motivating myself to work out from home, But I've been, again, kind of bored with the like old tone it up videos I've been doing. I'm sorry to say, but like I've been in the mood for something fresh and clean and new and different. I'm just in the mood to rebrand my whole self and my whole fucking life, which might be manic, but that's showbiz. And her name is Gabby George, and she is awesome. She's on YouTube. She only has like 21,000 subscribers right now. So like I feel like she just started an app too. I feel like she's just now like really getting popular on the scene, but I just love her teaching style. And like I said, while it's been hard for me to motivate myself to work out at home, I did a couple of her videos back to back today. What I also love is she has videos that are like 5 to 10 minutes long. So if you're like, oh my God, I only have like a quick 5 minutes, you can do a 5-minute video and then you're like, okay, well, that was actually fun. And why don't I do another 6 minutes? And then before you know it, you've worked out for a solid like 15, 20 minutes and you had a great time and you got to hang out with Gabby George. And it's great. So I'm going to link her in the show notes for you. Gabby George, I love her. Also, because of Charlie XCX, I can't say the name George without imagining how Charlie XCX says her husband's name, George. She's like, George. It's like with autotune. It's like, George, sorry, I love you, George. Okay, George. Sorry, George. Gabby George. Gabby George is linked in the comments. What else? Oh my God. Speaking of Orangetheory and also why I feel like I need to take a step back. I need to maybe consciously uncouple with it for like a second. Just take a break. This is not a story where I seem like a nice person. So just disclaimer. I was next to a man on the treadmill the other day. There's this TikTok sound where a girl's like, why would a man be here? Why would a man be here? And to be fair, it's like everyone has a right to go to Orangetheory, okay? And I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with saying I'm sure that this man has his own feelings and self-consciousness about what I'm about to tell you. But this man was a human sprinkler. I've never seen such a sweaty person in my entire life. And it was a Tread 50 class. So I was stuck on the treadmill next to this man for a full 50 minutes. And he was running. I was in the splash zone, honey. It was fucking Splash Mountain on that bitch. It was spritzing me in the face, spritzing me in the arm. I had to move my water bottle respectfully to the other cup holder so that he didn't spritz his sweat like on my water bottle where I drink out of. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. Let's face it. I have never seen someone sweat so much in my life. And listen, again, I am sure that being an extremely sweaty person has its challenges and its pitfalls. But holy shit, bring a towel. I don't even think he had a towel. Like, know thyself and bring a towel, because I was literally in Splash Mountain. It was a water ride up in that bitch. And I left feeling gross. Grosser than I normally do after a gym class. And I'm not like one of those girls that's like, I never sweat. I don't sweat a ton, but I still sweat, okay? Especially if I'm like running. But this was on another level. So while I know that people get really fucking sweaty during Lagree and Solidcore, I will say what I don't foresee being as big of a problem in Lagree and Solidcore is like I think your sweat, I would think based on, again, I don't know yet, so correct me if I'm wrong. I shouldn't speak about things I know nothing about, but I'm about to. I just don't see people's sweat like flying out to the side in Lagree or Solidcore the way that it would just directly on your reformer. Like you stay in your own lane. You know what I mean? Again, I could be wrong. I guess I'll know when I know, and then I'll report back. Speaking of my sense of dread about fall, I went to the Dresden last Wednesday to write the short that I've been working on. And I'm writing a rom-com short, and I'm super excited about it. And part of me is like, is this so like reductive and stupid? And the other part of me is like, who fucking cares? Like, not everything needs to be like so deep and like emotional. And like, can we just make shit that makes people feel good and makes people laugh and makes people happy? And with that said, I was like, fuck this. I'm going to write my cute little rom-com and hopefully get it made and star in it. And it will be fun. But so I was writing at the Dresden last Wednesday, and I get home. I've had 2 martinis, so like a slight buzz, but nothing crazy. And I walk up to my house for my Uber, and I see what looks like a little tree, like a little white tree in my front yard. And I'm like, huh, what is that? And it takes me about 0.5 seconds to realize it is a skunk's tail, a skunk in my front yard with its tail up, about to spray in my literal direction. And I go, oh, and I just keep walking past my house because I'm like, I can't go in my front door now, not with a skunk about to spray. oh my God. And then it like saw me and it ran away. And I kind of like stood there for a second being like, okay, it's like actually gone, right? And I went into my house. But something about that, something about coming home 2 martinis in, feeling creatively like rejuvenated to a skunk tail that at first you think is a small white tree. And then you realize it's a skunk tail pointed in your direction about to spray. Something about that feels apocalyptic to me, and I do not like it. And again, I'm trying to go into fall with a sense of optimism, with a sense of like, let's lock in, anything can happen, let's rebrand, let's start over, let's lock into that back to school energy, which I was literally like so lit on a week ago. But I saw that skunk tail and I was like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. What does this mean for me? What is the universe trying to tell me? Am I a bad person? Maybe because I was making fun of someone's sweat like 30 seconds ago. Anyways, yeah, that was spooky. That was really fucking spooky. Also, I will say, I feel like last year during the transition from summer to fall, I was so locked in on like wedding that like I didn't really have time to like acknowledge the shift in seasons. I was just full speed ahead in wedding mode. And I think that is also messing with my mindset a little bit this year. You know what I mean? Speaking of wellness and like being hot and Goop Kitchen, I saw that Gwyneth was on the podcast, The Cutting Room Floor, which is a Patreon exclusive podcast that I am seriously considering getting a subscription for. I'm going to put that in the show notes for you guys too. And the thing that I love about the host, Richo Amandi, is her name, is that she really grills, not like grills in a way that feels like gotcha kind of content, but like she is not afraid to like ask people questions, like high profile people questions, as just like human beings, like human being to human being, not like putting them on this like ass kissy pedestal. And I really, really admire that about her interview style. And I think that's why the clips I see on social media, like she has these really dynamic, interesting conversations with people like Gwyneth Paltrow, Steve Madden, like so many amazing guests. And she was interviewing Gwyneth about all the wellness things that Gwyneth does and that Gwyneth has like put on the map via Goop. And I was thinking about this because like it was literally like a long, long, long list, like things I've never heard of. Gwyneth is like, yep, I do that. Yep, I do that. And like NAD, like what the fuck is NAD? But she gets like every wellness treatment in the book, obviously. And I was thinking like, I know that wellness is a very easy hobby to embrace, especially if you're like a rich woman, because there's so much pressure as women to like be hot and only continue to get hotter the older we get. And if you're a rich woman like Gwyneth and you have access to all these like wellness treatments and stuff, why wouldn't you make it your whole personality? And then also like make money in the process by pitching it to people, like suggesting it to people. So like I get it. And I like, if I had Gwyneth's resources, I'm certain I would be a wellness freak like her. I don't think I would be able to just like live off of broth and call that food, but like that's where we differ. But imagine like, I was thinking about this. Sorry if this is morbid. Imagine devoting your whole life to wellness. Like you say no to like all these fun experiences and foods and things. And like, you're just constantly like wellness. Like I'm going to like reverse the hands of time. I'm going to age backwards. I'm going to live to be 105. And then you just like get run over by a bus one day. Can you imagine? What a fucking waste. And I guess the flip side of that is like, if you're that into wellness, it just has to be from a place of like, I genuinely love this. I want to feel great. It's not necessarily about living forever, but more just about living a really healthy, full life where I feel and look amazing. And I get that. But the thought of spending all that time and money to be like, I'm going to live forever. And then you get in some freak like Final Destination accident and then none of it matters. Keeps me up at night, really. It really does. I don't know what this episode is. Okay, I'm going to close out with a few things, a few recommendations for you all, things that I'm loving. I'm sorry that this episode was like extra unhinged. And I know I say that every week, but like this really felt like something different. Like I came in mid-crashout, like I was just crying to Jake, being like, I don't even know what I'm going to say. So you're getting just like pure mania, and I'm sorry. But here, I want to leave you with some concrete takeaways. So here are some things that I'm loving lately that I hope you love too. Now, we already discussed Gabby George. Trader Joe's has an English seeded bread that is delightful. It is like high in fiber. It's like a nut, like a seeded nut bread. And it is like sturdy as fuck. And it is the perfect base, nutty base. My mouth is like watering for like a cottage cheese toast of sorts. What I've been doing, okay, is the breakfast recommendation coming at ya. Trader Joe's seeded nut bread, mashed avocado, cottage cheese, everything but the bagel seasoning, red pepper flakes, drizzle of hot honey. Or Trader Joe's seeded bread. Then you make a little quick egg salad with mashed avocado, a hard-boiled egg, and a little bit of cottage cheese. You mash that up, mash that up, mash that up. Put that on the seeded bread. Top that with everything but the bagel seasoning. Delicious. Delicious. And then maybe a little hot sauce or hot honey if you want a little extra moisture, because I will say, as much as I love the seeded bread, it is a little dry. So I feel like you need something a little wet, a little to give it, some balance as far as the full culinary experience, but truly delicious, truly delicious. Next, there's a song called Dancing 2, like dancing and then the number 2, by an artist named Kelly Holiday. He's this Australian guy. He wrote it about his girlfriend. It is like the cutest song in the world. It's taking TikTok by storm. It is a very just like happy, optimistic end of a rom-com, like when the couple sees each other from across the room and decides that they're going to end up together kind of song. Very cinematic, very upbeat, 80s, beautiful. Love it. So Dancing 2, that will be in the show notes for you. The other thing, this isn't like a recommendation per se, but it is something that I'm loving that truly brought me to tears yesterday during my intense hangover, is that Crocs and Big Comfy Couch have done a collab. The Big Comfy Couch was my favorite show as a child, and Molly Dolly was my favorite toy, to the point where, like, I remember one time I was at the PBS or the WTTW Store of Knowledge at Northbrook Court in Northbrook, Illinois, with my mom and my sister. And I was like playing with a Molly Dolly, like just for fun, assuming I wasn't going to get it because I didn't really get toys for like no reason. And I remember my mom was like, "Okay, Hannah, we can go." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, you can take Molly with you." And I remember being like, "You mean I can take her home?" And my mom was like, "Yeah." And I like fully started crying in the store because I was just so excited to have my own Molly Dolly. So imagine my face yesterday when my little sister sent me a TikTok video of the Big Comfy Couch collabing with Crocs and Lunette the Clown saying, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while." And Molly Dolly was sitting on the couch with her, and Molly was like nodding along, and they were like doing an advertisement for Crocs. I literally started crying. I was like, "You're right, Lunette." I'm going to start crying now. I'm like, "You're right, Lunette. I haven't seen you in a while." But I never left. We never left each other. So whoever is behind Crocs marketing department and knows that like millennials love Crocs, and millennials are and will show their kids Big Comfy Couch as like a nostalgic relic of the past, that I think is like the perfect show for children, and every child should be able to enjoy it. Whoever on the Crocs marketing team knew that that was the case, kudos to them. I just want to give them a big heartfelt shout out, and thank you for making me cry during my hangover, because it was truly, truly cathartic. In closing, you guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry that this episode was all over the place, but thank you for listening. As always, if you don't follow me already, follow me at Hannah Erin Brown across platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Send this episode to a friend. Leave a rating and a review if you would be so kind. Only if you like the show. If you don't, if this was like an off week for you, I completely understand, but like then don't leave me a review. Feel free to comment on YouTube and Spotify. What else? Oh, also, check me out on Right Answers Mostly. I guested last Friday on their pop culture episode, so if you want to hear everything I have to say about the Taylor and Travis engagement, among other fun pop culture things, check that out there. That's in the show notes for you as well. Thank you all so much for listening. Keep an eye out for some really exciting guests in the coming weeks, and I love you, and thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.